Attention, your paradigm is about to shift at the intersection of fact and reason. You're entering Kingston Country.
I'm Dan Kingston, and you're listening to the Dan Kingston Podcast. We are all dreamers. We looked up at those stars and we've dreamt. We've dreamt for ourselves how to be king, how to get that woman of our dreams, how to have $1 million. All those dreams and cave paintings up until the modern day. Humans dream. And this country in particular, oh boy, do we dream. And we dream big. Don't confuse it with daydreaming. That's not what dreaming is. Dreaming is bigger than that. Dreaming of the future, dreaming of your future, the country dreaming of its collective future. You see, we had to dream to go to the moon. We had to dream to win World War II. You have to dream to achieve anything in your life. Didn't it start with a dream? Whatever you've achieved, and I bet you've done some pretty impressive things in your life. And if not, maybe you're just starting out in your career and you have more to do, or maybe things haven't gone your way. Perhaps life is cruel. Things are hard, but I bet you're still dreaming. I bet you've never stopped dreaming, because the second you stop dreaming, well, you might as well throw in the towel and give up. Everything that's ever worthwhile, that's ever been created or produced, started in someone's head, in someone's mind. It's just an idea, you could say, just a dream. Some of the greatest artists in the world talk about how their ideas come to them in dreams. And if you think about your dreams, they really give you so much insight into your life and where you're headed and what kind of thoughts are percolating under your self-consciousness. You know, the stuff that's kind of going on in the background that's affecting you that you might not even be aware of. Those are also dreams. We're all dreaming. It's important. It's a crucial thing. We don't like to think of ourselves as dreamers. It has that bad connotation, like I was saying, daydreaming and this kind of thing. But you can't look at it like that. You have to look at it as every successful endeavor. Everybody who's ever achieved anything, they dreamt of it. You know, you can't dream of something that's not concrete. For instance, I dream of being rich. That's better than having no dream. Don't get me wrong. It's better than having no dream. If you're dreaming of being rich, well, at least there's something. You know, you get up and you're like, I'm dreaming of a better future for myself. But flip that on its head. Think about those things that might bring you more money. Maybe that hobby that you've been working on the side, and you really haven't given yourself any authority, permission to expand that and actually go ahead, head first into it. You've just been dreaming about success, but you haven't been dreaming about how to get that success. You see what I'm saying there? I mean, allow yourself to dream big, not just about the outcome, but about the way you get to that outcome. Because that's the secret, is believing in yourself, believing in that dream, and allowing it to manifest. Don't get in the way. You allow the universe to bring good things to you. Allow God, if you believe in God, I hope you believe in God, but whoever you pray to and whatever you believe, allow that trust and faith and couple that with your dreams. Good things are going to happen to you. And if not, wait a little longer. Eventually, good things will happen. The sun comes out tomorrow. We're all going through something. I imagine you are. And maybe these words sound hollow, but hang in there. Things really do get better. You know this. You know things get better. And it might not sound like it. It might not feel like it. But hold on to your dream. It's really one of the only things that we have as people are our dreams. That's what keeps us going. And it's what unites us, really. I mean, rich people dream. Poor people dream. Everybody dreams. You're saying rich people don't dream. Look at Michael Bloomberg. He's a billionaire and he's dreaming of higher office, dreaming to be president. Even the billionaire Bloomberg is dreaming of something more for himself. And I'll tell you a story. Went into 7-Eleven. I'm just getting some groceries. And in front of me, this woman, two of them, I think they're sisters, best friends or something. I don't know, but they're buying $100 worth of lottery tickets and, apologizing because a whole line is backing up behind them. You know how this is. You have two people there holding up the line, picking up what lottery tickets to buy. I want this one. I want the $1 million wheel one. I want the one with the spinning wheel. And I want this and I want that. My policy is you don't buy lottery tickets, but lottery tickets, they're for poor people. Because if you're going to make your money, do it offering a service that helps somebody. Who are you helping by buying a lottery ticket? I mean, I guess you're paying for the school system. If it's in California and you're buying lottery tickets, you're helping support the school system. So I guess you are helping provide a service, but in like a really kind of offhanded way. Okay, you're out there, you spend $100 every week on lottery tickets and you're saying, screw you, Dan Kingston. I'm dreaming of being a winner. I'm going to win. Listen, I don't want to stand in the way of your dreams. But I thought it was funny. I noticed these people, they buy hundreds of dollars worth of lottery tickets. Do you know anybody like that? And nobody wins. Nobody wins these lottery ticket things. I mean, have you ever met somebody who's actually won? If so, I want to know. Give me a call and let me know if you know somebody who's actually won a lottery. The thing goes straight to the school districts. It's like, the casinos. They never lose. The lotteries, they never lose. It's just gambling. You're throwing away your money. But whatever, it supports social services. Why not? So this is part of the reason why people get so resentful of the DACA program, of the Dreamers. Don't you think? Don't you think that has something to do with it? Because they're saying, wait a minute, why is this group a bunch of dreamers? I'm a dreamer. I've been here in the United States and I have family from Europe, maybe. I'm not saying me personally. I'm just, saying maybe you're out there and you have family in Europe and you're dreaming of bringing your family over to the United States. Maybe that's your dream. And then you say, oh, look at this group of dreamers, DACA. That's not fair. That's not right. So that resentful feeling is getting in the way of reality that says, okay, most of these DACA recipients are just kids. They were kids when they were brought here, trying to stay out of the way, trying to do good things, more or less good people. This is what you're hearing, right? Doctors, lawyers, productive members of society. By and large, that's true, but there is a dark underbelly to this. Those with criminal histories are getting through the system and permitted to remain in the country. This is coming from USCIS Director L. Francis Cisna. That's the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Director. And is saying there are legitimate concerns over a portion of the population who have requested and have been granted the privilege of a temporary stay of their removal under the illegal DACA policy. Illegal because this is an executive order by Obama, no Congress approval for this program. But it's not like this is a horrible idea. You have to understand, you want to demonize everything the president did, and you want to demonize everything, every single immigrant that comes here. That's stupid. I don't think you're like that. If you're one of those, xenophobe, racist, this kind of thing, I don't think there's that many people like that really out there. I would be surprised if I have someone like that listening, because I think by and large, while maybe you have a right to feel resentful, maybe you do, you understand that this is a fair system. We need to have fairness. That's all you want is fairness. Yeah, maybe you're upset, but you're upset because it's not fair, not because you're a racist. You're upset because you're saying, okay, look, this group of people came over here, and while most of them are by and large fine. Most of them, by and large, the only crime maybe they committed was coming over here illegally with their family. But you're saying, look, there's thousands of these who actually have committed the crimes, and they're using the DACA policy as a cover. And we're talking about thousands of these. This is you can check it on the website, the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Gov website. It lays it all out. And you're getting kind of upset over here. You're saying, wait, they lied to us. They said all these DACA recipients are squeaky clean. Now you're finding out that's not the case. So if you had a policy that was written by Congress, a law, not a policy, it'd be a law written by Congress, then when there's a hole in the system or it's used or abused, there's fraud, then Congress can go fix the loophole. But when it's an executive order and then the president leaves and a new president comes in, Trump, I guess, can't just stop the program. He can't just freeze it entirely. He's gone to court to do that. The Supreme Court is hearing a case on the DACA program. That's in the news. And so what the Supreme Court will rule is they're saying likely to be favorable to Trump. He's likely to freeze his DACA program. And then it would be in his right, people are pointing out, to send all those DACA recipients home. I mean, it's cruel to say, because if you've been in the United States for most of your life, let's face it, this is your home. I never liked it when Trump was saying, go back home to Ilhan Omar, for instance, or the squad, because the truth is I can't stand her anti-Semitic, racist policies. She seems to be very anti-American. If you're a citizen of this country, you have a right to be anti-American with your speech. I mean, you can't go ahead and go like take up arms against the country, but you do have a right to say whatever you want, and you certainly have a right to feel however you want as a citizen. Okay, so I guess I'm a big believer in the First Amendment, whether or not you're a hateful, vindictive representation of that, like Ilhan Omar is. So I wouldn't say, they have to go back home because of what they're saying and this kind of thing. As an American citizen, I don't like that. And I wouldn't want to send these DACA people home. The problem is that among these dreamers, there are many that have used this system and are using it to stay in the country despite having committed crimes. And some of these crimes are very serious crimes like murder and rape and armed assault. And some of these crimes are not so serious. Another big problem we have is in California, especially where many of the DACA recipients are. It's illegal to do certain things, like eating a sandwich. I don't know if you saw the video of the African-American eating a sandwich on the BART platform and the police officers and trying to arrest him. And he's saying, he's arresting him for resisting the fine that has been given to him for resisting eating the sandwich. It's a crazy video. People are saying, why did he resist? And I'm saying, well, it's a kind of a Fourth Amendment thing. The police officer there's grabbing onto his backpack, saying, stop eating this sandwich, kind of joking with him almost jokingly. And then it's like smiling and yet holding on to this gentleman's backpack and saying, you cannot eat this sandwich. And the guy's like, what do you mean I can't eat the sandwich? Let go of my backpack. And he's like, no, I'm not going to let go of your backpack. You are being detained. He's like, the guy's like, what am I being detained for? For eating a sandwich? He says, no, you're being detained for resisting arrest. And then the guy's kind of like, he's just standing there eating a sandwich. So I assume what's happening is he's being arrested. He's being detained because the police officer walked up to him and said, stop eating the sandwich. And he refused to stop eating the sandwich. Why doesn't he just get the fine? Give him the fine, give him a ticket and walk away. Let him finish eating the sandwich. Or is he that power hungry? Have we gone to that level of excessive policing, where the police officer feels it's in his right to physically stop someone, to physically stop you from eating a sandwich? That goes as a felony because now you resisted the police officer asking you to resist eating the sandwich. So that's a felony. Now, if you're a DACA person, I guess then you are one of those thousands that have a criminal background. So how do we figure out which one of those DACA people have done the murders and the rapes, and how many of them just, were eating a sandwich on a platform? We don't know because the laws are so goddamn crazy. That's half the problem. The other half the problem is that you do have the system. It was created as an executive order and is now being used. There's loopholes and it's being used as fraud. Lots of fraud. So the Supreme Court looks like it is going to support Trump, back Trump in ending the DACA program. What this means, I don't know. I guess to recap, I wouldn't want to see them all put on buses and forced to leave. By the same token, I would like to see the bad people weeded out of that program. I would like to see that program reformed so that it's tighter, so that it really is intended for the people. And also, stop calling it dreamers and have some recognition that we are all dreamers. We're a country of dreamers. It doesn't belong to one specific group of people. That belongs to America as a whole.
Kingston Country. You've been listening to the Dan Kingston Podcast.